Hey guys, welcome back. I have a little project that we're going to be doing this summer with the teens for the summer reading program. And one of the things we are going to be doing, see if you can see this lady in here. You see her? I have 4 different designs that are kind of similar to these. And we're going to make some replicas of this. And the teens are going to be receiving some kits that you will come to the library to receive, and all the supplies and all that, and they're going to take these home and paint them. So what I need to do first is I have to make a mold. And the product that I like to use when I am creating molds and resin casting is a company. It's called Smooth On. And the product that I use to create the molds is called Umu. O-O-M-O-O, Umu. So this is a silicone rubber, and what you will do is first you have to make a box. What I did is this box here is made out of EVA foam. Now if you don't know what EVA foam is, it's that puzzle piece kind of foam stuff that you see everywhere. You see these? This one's a little cut up. This is what I used to make the box out of. So I just cut the shape that I needed. I cut out the sides, and basically I just use a hot glue gun. You need to make sure that on the inside all of the seams are completely covered in hot glue so that none of the silicone mold making stuff runs out from underneath. So this stuff is a 1-to-1 mix ratio. It basically means half of one product, half of the other product, and you mix them together. So these kits, they come with 2 bottles, and then you just put half and half. Mix them together, then you pour them into your mold. Now I have already poured out some of this stuff. So you see here's one is in kind of a greenish color and one is a bluish color. And they are the exact same amounts in these cups. I like to use the clear plastic cups when I'm making molds because I can visually see that, yeah, that is 50-50. So what you'll do is you will mix these together, and then you will slowly pour them into the mold, and then you'll just let them sit. Now this Umu, there is a fast Umu and a slower Umu, and I believe this might be the faster one. This stuff, once you pour these 2 together, it has a pot life of 15 minutes. Basically, a pot life means once 15 minutes is up, you're not going to be able to pour it. So get this mixed and poured right away. Don't let it sit around. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pan the camera down so that you can kind of see how I'm pouring this. And then we'll go ahead and mix the 2 together and pour it in there. Okay? Oh, before I go, you do need to do one other step. I had to do this outside because this stuff kind of stinks. This is release spray. And basically kind of consider this like the cooking pan for your project. You're going to spray a layer inside here. That way when it's time to take the mold back out, this will basically allow these 2 things to come apart. And you'll see later when I actually take this mold apart. Okay, so I'm going to pan the camera down now, and then I'm just going to show you how I pour. Okay, so here we are. Here's our project that we're going to be making the mold from. And I've already got 2 sets of these poured into cups. I have a feeling that this is going to take a little bit more just because it has some deeper sides here that we have to get this all filled. And I just don't think that 1 cup would do it. So I went ahead and poured 2 so that we can do this twice. So I'm going to put on some gloves. And then I am going to mix 1 of these cups into the other, give it a quick stir, and then I'm going to show you how to pour. Now I understand that, like, oh, you just pour it in, no big deal. But you don't want there to be air bubbles, and there is a way that I like to pour this, and it just sort of helps minimize the bubbles, so I will show you that. So let's go ahead and take our products. I'm going to move these 2 over out of the way. Alright, so we have our A and our B, and I'm going to move her over just a little bit while I do this. So we're just going to pour one into the other. Now, the way that I pour this so that I don't get any air bubbles, because you can actually see maybe there are air bubbles in that cup. I take my cup and I raise it up and I let it pour out in a small stream. And what happens is that while it's going through this little stream, basically your air bubbles pop. Okay, and that is, this takes about an hour and a half to cure. And so what I will do is I will go ahead and wait, and I will be back. And then I'll show you how to take this apart. And then I will mix up some resin and actually make a copy so that you can see how that's done. Okay guys, so we'll be back in a little bit and I will have a second mold made and kind of top this one off just a little bit more. Okay guys, be right back. Okay guys, so this has now cured, and so I'm just going to go ahead and take the mold apart, and as you can see, it's looks like it's set, and basically all you have to do is just rip open the box or whatever you use to contain your mold while you were pouring it. All right, and there is our mold. Okay, so in my next bit I am going to show you how I'm actually going to fill this with resin, and how I'm going to pull those out, and so then you'll see that it'll be a replica of this. Okay, you guys, I'm back. So we pulled our mold, so here it is. And I am going to resin cast it right now, so basically make a copy. You're going to need to have some plastic cups. You'll need 2. Something to stir with. Now, before I was stirring the umu with a butter knife and a spoon. Umu will come off of that stuff. Resin will not come off my utensils, so I'm just going to be using some chopsticks to stir this. It is a 50-50 mix, just like the last one. It's also the same company, so this is called Smooth Cast 300, and it will basically make a white plastic. So again, it's 2 parts, A and B, and they are, you put the same amount in, basically. So, which I've already done. So here they are right here. I already went ahead and did this because this stuff smells. This is the release spray that we use when making the mold. What you're going to want to do is spray the inside of your mold. So basically I took this outside and I sprayed it down. This will keep the resin from sticking to your mold and it will pop off, basically like cooking spray. So I'm going to pan the camera down so that you can see the table, and then what I will do is pour these. Okay, here I am. So I've got my 2 parts, A and B, and then I'm just going to give them a mix and put them in my mold. And also with these, you also don't want to get air bubbles. So a lot of times with this stuff, the air bubbles will just rise to the surface, and then I usually will just either blow on it or poke it with a stick to pop any bubbles that come up. Alright, so here we go. I'm just going to pour this into that one. Okay. And try not to get resin on your table, or put down a cloth or something, because this stuff is unforgiving and it will pretty much turn solid and ruin anything that it comes in contact with. I have lost many shirts to Smooth Cast, which basically turns them into a stiff board. this looks like they're set. So this is an exothermic reaction, so it does get a little warm. So nothing to be worried about if you try this and you start worrying it because it's hot. That is fine. That's actually pretty normal. Okay. So let's pull this out. And let's hope that it was forgiving. Okay. So, and there is our finished one. So I am going to pan the camera up so that you can see both of these side by side. So, there is the original that we made in the 3D printer. And then here, if you can see it, is the copy that we just molded. So there you go, side by side. All right, well, I hope that was informative. I've been making molds now for props for probably 8-10 years now. So this was a prop, or this was a mold that we made for the library. If anybody ever did the fairy doors, well, this is where they came from. So we had 3D printed the fairy doors, and then we had molded them, and then there's one of the fairy doors. Okay, guys, can't wait to start seeing you again. Miss y'all, and I hope that you're having a good summer, and we'll see you soon, I hope. Okay, bye.